welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This. It's our big 5-0, the 50th episode. There's 2 people watching this.
We get 3 or 4 sometimes.
Sometime. Anyway, I'm your host, Todd Farber, and joining me as always,
The experience that some call Jason.
The token terrible survivor Tarky.
CEO 113.
Detroit. Anyway, for our 50th, we have decided to steal something from other people. I've only partially stolen because I've been part of one of these on the podcast myself. We're going to talk about what we would do at the end of the world. I will give the group 3 different scenarios if we have time, and you'll get to see how we plan to survive the end of all there is. So to start us off, the first scenario is we're going to do something from the old 80s movie Night of the Comet. We leave here from the safety of the Sanctum Sanctorum, go outside, everybody's been turned, or most of the people have been turned into tight little piles of pink dust, leaving us as the only survivors. What do you do to make it?
Place to stay, food, and then whatever I want. Because other than the 3 of you and the wife, who's in one of the back rooms watching TV, we can do what we want. Money's not an object. All we got to do is get into a place, and it's ours.
Do you take a dust buster?
The rain will take care of that.
Not
Not
rain.
in the houses.
Not in the houses. Not in the cars. Ew.
Now,
So you just go shake people out into the
and then
street?
shake the clothes out, vacuum up the dust, pour the dust out into the yard.
You should have a healthy yard.
Yeah, and I don't know if I want to breathe that shit in.
I didn't say I wouldn't do it without a mask.
Well, you didn't mention a mask.
That's common sense. Handling corpses 101. Wear a mask.
I really thought gloves would be number 1.
If they're dust,
What happened? What's this in my eye? People.
Gross.
I have people.
Oh, he's in a mouth.
You know, the
Wednesdays.
first good win. Fuck!
yeah, that happened in the movie.
No.
The trick is, that is not all that hard a scenario to survive in. Because just hitting Walmarts and Kroger's, or whatever your local grocery store is, you're going to find enough canned food to keep yourself alive for a couple of years easy.
Yeah.
Which gives you a few years to experiment with farming. You know, you hit a co-op, you need any seeds you need.
You got a shit ton of compost.
See, I ain't even worried.
I wasn't thinking about that, but yes.
See, I'm not even worried about farming in general, because I'm like, farming will sort of kind of happen. Like, somewhere, the things I plant will either work out, or the wild stuff that grows, now that no one is controlling it, there will be enough to forage. What I'm worried about is production. I'll always have socks and pants and shirts. We've made enough of those for one person for the rest of their life, so long as it doesn't get moth-eaten. We all wear glasses.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go on the internet real fast before the internet shuts down for power loss and download some stuff and read on how to make glasses.
The trick is
The tools are all still there.
Yeah, but so you have enough of the tools around.
And you can, harness a generator and make a pair of glasses every couple of years.
I think big picture, my plan would be, assuming I can talk, a group into it, is find one of those kind of gated communities. And we've got the areas around here where you've got like a ton of solar panels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
what
you hook up, one little subdivision or whatever with power. You turn a couple of them houses into, your doctor's office, your
Store.
storage. You're talking about the glasses. You get all that equipment. You pack that into one of the houses. So you really only have to worry about keeping up with that small electrical grid.
And pray that in Huntsville, come spring or fall or winter or whenever, a tornado doesn't come and hit your shit.
I didn't say anything about it being in Huntsville. Because we've still got cars still work. We can find us a safe spot.
Yeah, okay. The scenario, though, was you walk outside with that.
Yeah, we walk outside and our cars still work. We can go set up wherever.
And I'm pretty
Is there a
sure we
place
could set
where
up at the jail downtown you know, it's
See, that's what you
fortified
need to
building.
do if you got to fortify against something.
Yeah. This you're not necessarily fortifying
Yeah, that's
against
true.
anything.
Because
Well,
even if you run into other groups of survivors, there's not going to be a whole lot of fighting over resources because there are so many resources.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, people, countries, they fight over resources when they get scarce.
yeah. None of the comment you had, what, about 2%, the scientist was talking about, what, 2% or 3% of the population
Yeah.
survived? So, you know, yeah. Fighting over resources is not gonna be an issue.
And with that kind of loss, most people are going to want a group. You know, so
Yeah.
you're going to be more
Just
likely.
the same.
You're going to be more likely to have people forming up communities relatively peacefully.
Well, I gave you the easiest one first.
You know, you'll drive by. Hey, that's a new town. Welcome to Debauchery Town, USA.
Well, I'm just going to keep driving, but you guys be good.
Welcome to Gomorrah, the sequel.
Yeah.
No entry without a goat.
In some ways, you would have a setup. What was the name of that movie? Last Day on Earth,
Yeah.
where everybody was, you know, signing off on radios or on the phones. I love you. And I don't movie ever tells you why the world's ending, but everybody knows when it's ending.
Okay. Like I said, I gave you the easiest one first. Now we'll go into the Mad Max / Doomsday type future where, yeah, you're
More
there.
people, less resources.
Yeah, less resources. You got roving bands of cannibals and shit running around.
Guns. I want guns.
Guns, yeah, guns. Lots and lots of guns.
Okay.
I mean, bold of us to assume anyone in this room is going to win the gunfights.
Oh, quite possibly not.
Now, granted, go down fighting is go down fighting.
That's true. You got a better shot of winning the fight if you can fight it then.
Now, was the Mad Max situation caused by, like, nuclear war, disease? What was it caused?
Well, that was the thing. Doomsday, it was disease, and Mad Max, it was a nuke.
Okay.
Well, it was a nuke, and it was environmental change.
Yeah.
You had famine because
Yeah.
oil was running out and food was getting scarce.
And
So
I'm, not,
let's waste all the gasoline chasing each other around in the desert.
I'm also not exactly sure that it afflicted everywhere in the world in Mad Max. You know, Australia was messed up.
I think it was hitting everywhere. You don't know that it was hitting everywhere to exactly the same degree.
But for my purposes, that's the fucking world you're living in. It's this, but it's it's jacked up.
Yeah. Well, there was a book series I read. I can't. The Final Day, I think, was the name of the book. And nukes had went off in the upper atmosphere. EMPs had shut
Shut
everything off.
everything down.
And they went from modern day technology to
Stone Age.
1700s. You know, if you ain't got a horse, a buggy, a car that was made
Yeah.
before 1980, you're screwed. And even the gas will start going bad. That's where you had cannibals pop up because, you know, food resources. You work at a grocery store. How many trucks do y'all get a week to stock said grocery store? 2 for hard.
Well, we have it split by 2 warehouses, so 4 from one of them and 3 from another one. And that's just in my department. Then produce gets 3 trucks. Dairy gets 3 trucks. Well, they're on the same truck.
But they come like,
Oh,
On
yeah,
an as-need
it's about
basis.
every other day.
so all that grinds to a halt. Food's sitting somewhere, you can't get to it because people don't farm anymore. People don't have their own, most don't have their own wells anymore. So toilets don't work. Sanitation. That's when people lose their minds.
If it happens at my house, I know where the well is on my folks' property. It's covered up now, but you know, some shovels and a few hours of work, you could get access to the well. I know where the well's at on my grandparents' old property. They may still have the pump on it, I don't know. Depends on what the new owners have done.
Yeah, but
But as far as long-term
the
survival,
trick is that happens. What do you do?
all right, the well thing is still legit. You got to find water.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have water.
In
You're gonna have to
any
have.
survival situation, you gotta have food and water, you gotta have shelter, and then
And in that scenario, you better have a means to protect whatever the hell you
means to
got.
protect yourself. And
So that's my thing. Are you trying to create a group?
then
How in the hell are you gonna do that? Because if you're trying to do that solo, if somebody's got a group, they're gonna take your shit.
Yeah.
So what is your plan? I know what mine is. Mine, I stopped being Todd Holland, and that's where Lord Sagittarius Prime is born.
Yeah.
You're going to be the crazy leader of the cult-like following.
In that kind of situation, the person that goes Lord of the Flies first
Wins.
wins.
You can't, in that situation, you can't
But you may
have
only win short term.
You also then run into the problem of what I'd do. Oh, hey, there's someone being a crazy cult. Bang. Time to run from this place forever. Oh, hey, there's a new crazy cult. Bam. You keep taking out the leaders, people will eventually realize we need to not make crazy cults.
Well, the crazy cults are, with the exception of the last Mad Max movie, aren't really sustainable. And the last time you had the crazy cult thing, but they were really more like real world tyrants. One of them had, was it Morty Joe?
Yeah, more than Joe.
You know, one of them could produce food, one of them could produce fuel, one of them could produce ammunition and stuff. And they had a tight little group going on. You know, there was some tension there, but everybody needed everybody. So they were building a society. 1,000 years from then, who knows what kind of government you'd have, because, you know, people can survive tyrants. But if you're literally just putting together a roving band, as crazy as the people in this scenario tend to be, you're wiping these groups out that you're taking stuff from, and you're going to run out eventually.
But the trick is, I said nothing about wiping everybody out. I said I'd be a dictator. And in that kind of situation, you don't need a democracy, you need a dictator.
Yeah.
You need freedom of movement, you need somebody basically going to go do this. Go do that,
That's why
go
kings
do
and emperors worked so well back in feudal times.
And still work well under certain emergencies.
Yeah.
When decisions have got to be, like you were pointing out, decisions got to be made quick. Because democracies tend to bog down in bureaucracy.
And that's the trick, is the person that goes Lord of the Flies first is going to win that shit. That means you're going to have to make choices that you might not make now.
Well, that's why I say
To
you're going to
survive.
have to take what we call our moral compass in a modern society and take that and go, okay, I'm sitting this on the shelf, and hopefully one day I can pick it up and dust it off and put it back in. But until now,
You got to
I'm
decide
in survival
immediately
mode.
where you're drawing your lines at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm not butchering children because there's not going to be greedy.
there's no point.
Yeah, there's no. You don't be pointlessly cruel, but you'd have to be.
Murder gets put on the table a lot faster.
Yeah, you could not be willing to take a lot of crap. You're going to do what I say.
Good.
You're going to do it now.
Good example is from a book series I was reading, in a very similar situation. They didn't get quite go Mad Max, but they went feudal, like knights, samurai, you know, anything that they could remember from history that worked, that's what they went to. And this dude, he got hung with the title Bear Lord, because he killed a bear early on during the situation. And when he was building his followers, his army, he would sit down at the table, and the people that wanted to join his band would come up and he'd say, what did you do before the fall? What skills do you have? What hobbies? You know, what do you bring to me? One guy was, I was a carpenter, I was an electrician, I was a mechanic, I did construction. We need people that can do that, because, you know, even though electricity didn't work, hand tools worked. The knowledge of how to take things. So
You needed skilled tradesmen, basically.
yeah, he had one guy that come up that, you know, the wife and little kid was just, you know, shivering and cowering because they were afraid, you know, something was going to happen. The guy, he was a drunk. He was just, you know, drunk off his ass. He goes, yeah, we'd like to join. He goes, why should I let you, the drunk? Well, I noticed a lot of y'all have bows. I used to work at such and such, and we built bows, so I know how to do that. Had one of the persons that was familiar with bows and how they were built come up and quiz the dude. Sure enough, he did. So the Bear Lord goes, I'll give you 2 strikes. First time I catch you drinking, I'll beat you. Second time I catch you drinking, you know, I'll kill you. He kept his word. First time he caught him, you know, you're going to sober up, you're going to do this job, don't beat your wife.
But he gave the guy the shot because the guy had skills he needed.
Right. And he put other people with that dude to learn those skills.
Yeah, because
And
he
he
knew
knew
at some point
he
he
knew
was going to have to
that
kill
this
his ass.
alcoholic was gonna, you know, screw up, you know. And when he did, yeah, he took his head.
I think I would try to take more of a Switzerland approach. I'm going to sit down, try to make my community, bring people in, everybody's going to be a trained fighter. Everybody, you know, oh, somebody's messing with us. Roll out the militia, and everybody rolls out.
Yeah.
With whatever kind of weapon we have, everybody's trained with it.
Because that's the trick. Remember, in that world, shit's rough. You will have fucking cannibals. You will have, you know,
Yeah.
I'm setting up some shit where, you
Yeah.
know,
Well, you know, in the books I was talking, you had cannibals rolling around, and they had to deal with them, and it's like, okay, you want to be that way, fine. Skewer you on a sword, you know, or with an arrow or whatever.
You had cannibals pop up in the Walking Dead comic. They did the same. You had them pop up in the show, but they did a completely different thing with it. The trick with them in the comic was it was a small group of them, and they sucked at hunting. That was their thing. You know how hard it is to hunt. People are a whole lot easier to find.
Yeah.
And you would have some of that.
Yeah, and you would have to have a policy in place. We catch you doing that, we kill you.
Oh yeah, yeah. There'd be a zero tolerance for that sort of thing.
what? A zero tolerance for cannibalism? Have my pet cannibals. Go forth. Go forth, my Wendigo Legion, and eat.
You're basically gonna have the psychos from Borderlands.
Yep.
What about
What's it? What?
Go
What's
powder
it?
your cockatiels.
Well, see,
They're
well,
big
see, I
slots.
have to have that because Target's like, yeah, I'm killing psychos. Hey, you better not miss.
Yeah.
Because if you miss, you this week's entertainment.
My thing would be make myself indispensable to as many people as possible. You're always going to need tradesmen. You're always going to need certain products. Find a group of people that can do that, put them together, and let the word be known. Hey, you need stuff built.
Kind of set up a guild hall.
Yeah,
We
guild.
are neutral.
Yeah.
You bring
need
us-
tradesmen, we'll come build it for you, but we expect X, Y, Z in return. Oh, you need this set of goods carried from point A to point B? No problem, we'll do that. But, you know,
See, but that's a problem in a Mad Max society. You don't need tradesmen as much. You just need raw resources. Because that was the thing was,
Yeah.
we'd like to build houses. We don't have the wood to build houses. We gotta find that first. Thing is, guns and stuff, they still had a handful of. They didn't have necessarily a whole lot, but they had a handful of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the food, water, and shelter that was missing.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm talking about. You find people that know how to build stuff. You can build a house.
Yeah, but
without
the trick
wood.
is,
Yeah, you're skipping over step 1 through
you gotta
3.
eat.
Yeah,
You gotta find water and food first.
Yeah. Well,
You
food,
can-
water, shelter. Those are your
You
three.
know, you
your
can
three
go
needs, no
a
matter
little
what.
while without food before you get good fucked up. Water you can't do but 3 days and you die.
Yeah, well, you know, the whole thing about, drink 8 glasses of water a day, most folks go, I don't do that. Yeah, you do, inadvertently. Anytime you eat food, anytime you
eat
drink a
fruit
soft
or
drink,
something
drink
like that,
fruit,
you're hydrated.
you're
You
hydrated
cannot
somehow.
You cannot go for 3 days without water.
Yeah,
And the trick is, you go too long without food, your ass gets special.
In the Mad Max scenario, it's going to be those initial. It's going to be that first 2 or 3 months.
It's going, I'm telling you, it's going to be who goes Lord of the Flies first, because you have in mind what you need, and you have to find what you can and secure it.
yeah.
And that's gonna be Lord Humongous. If you don't want to be the victim of a son bitch like that, you got to be the son bitch like that.
Well, see, in that book I was talking about, you had a guy that kind of went the Lord Humongous, where he was, on his shield, he had the freaking Eye of Sauron painted. That was his, he was a LARPer before all that happened. And I'm rolling with it. I'm going to be the dictator. I'm going to be the, where the dude that, was ended up being Lord Bear, he was ex-military, so he had this mindset of build things in a structure, justice, firm but fair for everybody, from the top down, from the highest knight to the lowest peon,
But like I said, that's the kind of benefit you have when. 30 minutes already?
I guess it has been, I believe.
Pardon us, Jason's pocket's ringing.
We have an advanced alarm system here.
I thought it was just going to buzz, but that silence. But apparently, the alarms.
Because we still got one more to go through. And by God, I'm going to go through it.
All right.
Well, Lenny, you said reset it.
No, I did let's go. Let's go 135. All right. That's weird. It was no.
I can see the clock from here, so
Yeah,
I'll
that
kick
worked-
you.
that worked
I'll
out
do
so
this.
well- That worked out so well last time. Yeah.
touch turn.
All right, there we go. I think I've got none. Got vibrate picked and no tone. So maybe that'll work.
All right. So our last scenario is zombie apocalypse.
Dun, dun, dun.
We will have a mix of both slow ass, stupid Walking Dead zombies and sons of bitches from Dawn of the Dead.
All right.
Life is fucked up.
So it's a zombie side city.
Yeah.
You got your walkers, you got your runners.
Yeah.
The runners worry me more than anything, because if you get Dawn of the Dead or World War Z type zombies, yeah, that. And what's the turn rate?
Depends on how quick you die.
It's everyone that has been afflicted. Is it everyone that dies turns?
Yes.
Congratulations. The new way you get buried, you ain't get your head cut off where you get buried. Done deal.
Or you can take a nice,
Interior doors are fortified because old people passing away unexpectedly.
you get the good old fashioned
So it's
driver
well,
Discussing that with the woman at work last night on break.
about old people dying in zombies.
We were discussing Walking Dead, it's a big fan of the TV show.
But yeah, now you're in that kind of scenario. Do you have a group? Do you have a group? If you have a group, what size of group are you trying to do? How in the hell are you gonna try and survive that shit?
I would go partially like the Lord Bear route. What do you bring to this group? What are your skills? Do you know how to make weapons? Do you know how to make shields, bows, arrows? Because eventually,
If
bullets.
you've got runners, first and foremost, you find a fortified position.
Yeah.
And then shovels become your best friend.
And it kind of depends on what's the percentage. Is it mostly slow ones with a handful?
Well, let's do the old the House of the Dead movie version. New ones are fast, old ones are slower. As they rot, they get slower.
Then your first couple of days, while you're waiting for that rot to set in, you just gotta fortify.
Oh, you don't know that shit.
But
You don't know it.
That's true.
Because when it first happens, the only thing you got Dawn of the Dead. You got
All right.
fucking fast ass
You
zombies.
start off with Dawn of the Dead, you fortify somewhere. You find a convenience store with barred windows where you can lock the barred gate over the door.
I'm heading to Walmart.
The problem is a lot of people would head to Walmart. Walmart tends to have glass doors in the front.
It can be fortified. There is a decent amount of food, and you got guns. There's guns, and
But it takes a little while away.
yeah.
Well, the problem.
You either gonna have to hit Walmart or something like Gander Mountain or some shit like that, where you got snake protective gear or something that makes it harder to get bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the only problem with unless you know right off, I got to get that. And even when you get there, you got to be have your head on the swivel, because okay, a person gets bit, they don't die, but they'll turn in 20 minutes to an hour. Okay, one person turns in a storm, bites somebody else, they hit the ground. If nobody runs up and bashes their brains in like that, two
That depends on
become
how fast they
four.
turn.
It's
Well, like I
What
said,
happens is the thing, anytime once you got fortified, everybody gets looked over.
Yep.
Anybody new comes in, you look them over. You've got a weird looking injury. They tell you it wasn't this, it wasn't that. If you're somewhere where you've got, say, a freezer that you can turn off, or
And
somewhere where you could secure somebody,
an
you could
office
set up,
building.
you could
Or
set
an office
up
room.
a quarantine area that somebody have to stay in.
yeah.
yeah, if you're any kind of way sick, you fucked. Again, that's one of those things where you kind of go Lord of the Flies. Who goes Lord of the Flies first wins.
Yeah.
2 rules I would have with my group: no babies, no pets. They get people killed. That baby can't shut the fuck up when it needs to shut the fuck up. And if you run around after little Sparky's ass, you and Sparky get the fuck out of there. I am
The
not
trick
fucking
is-
around with pets and animals.
If
I mean
you're,
pets and kids, little kids.
if you're fortified in a Walmart, the baby is less of an issue. You just put it in the interior of the store somewhere that I go hear from outside. And you know, as bad as it sounds, if the store's getting flooded, it's every man for himself. So, because the trick is, for long-term survival, you're gonna have to have kids. If you're thinking long-term,
If you're talking about survival of the species, yeah.
which is the ultimate goal.
But the
Now,
ultimate
the
goal
first
is
few
to decide
days-
your damn self.
The first few days, yeah.
Because the trick is, how many damn movies have you seen where 2 or 3 people end up getting fucked up because of pet? Hell, that's what got the fucking mall overrun, really, in Dawn of the Dead, was that bitch couldn't let her goddamn dog go. I got to run over here.
Some of that's
I
just
got
really
to-
bad writing.
But the trick is, people look at especially they look at the damn pets and shit like the kids.
Well, that's where you gotta have a cold SOB in charge.
What
You
did
know?
I say?
Oh, Susie wouldn't let the dog go. She ran across. She's trapped in that little building.
Oh well.
Yep.
That's a
Deuces.
shame. That's a shame. Should have been good breeding stock there. Oh, well.
Damn, I was planning on fucking her. Oh well.
I don't know. I
Guess it's me and you.
I really see you guys as taking stereotypes a little too far in there. I'm saying, you know, there are people that will dive after the dog. There are also people that are like, oh, my dog's a baby. Oh, some fucked up shit's happening, and my dog got in the middle of it. See ya.
Yeah.
You were a good dog. I'm sorry to see you go.
Which you would have already proved that when you
Yeah.
came to my group and I went, no pets.
Yeah,
That means you got to leave little Fido's ass out there
Yeah.
if you want to come in.
Dawn of the Dead specifically, the dog was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but what was it? She got attached to that fucking dog, and the shit got all kinds of people killed.
Yep.
Because she didn't have enough fucking sense to go, well, hell, it just walked through a fucking crowd of them. They obviously don't want the dog. Oh, no, I got to run over here and save this fucking dog. And then you get a bunch of people fucked up trying to save your ass.
No, she would have been on her.
No fucking little kids, no fucking pets.
But are we saying just shit has already hit the fan before we knew anything about it? Or is it like we've seen the start where we've seen 1 or 2 running across the street, you know?
You walk out the door, shit's going. Shit's on blaze. It's only going to get worse. It's on blaze
Yeah.
right now.
Then it's find somewhere to hold up. If it is, you have seen the spark, and you know it's only going to get worse from here, but it hasn't hit here yet, you go the opposite direction. You buy yourself time because car is faster than people.
Well, if you're in a big
If it's
city,
coming across, like say from the East Coast west, and you know what's going to, you've seen New York turn into,
Right. Yeah.
then yeah, you head out to some of the middle of the country states
And
where
you start
there's
trying
wide open
and you
space.
start trying to fortify early.
Yeah, you buy time to prep.
Though the trick is, even in that, if people know that shit's coming, you have to fight for that.
No, at that point, no, you go into Discord. The internet's still running on that half of the country. Yeah, you call people and go, hello, I would like to join such and such group. Hey, you guys have been making, because guess what? We live in the age of information. Yeah, people aren't going to see that happening on the East Coast and not
But the
prep
trick
up.
to that is,
And
you got
if they have prepped up, they ain't prepped up for you. They prepped up for them and their family and their
But
friends.
if you've got Doom Preppers already plotting to build a group, a society, now it's one of the things where you may have to answer them questions of, well, what can you bring us?
Yeah.
And that's fine. The thing is, yeah, unless it hits the fan unanimously all at once, just boom. Yeah, we live in the age where you can call someone across and go, hey, I hear you're forming a group. I'm currently in Alabama, headed your way. Are you cool with taking me on? I can do this, this,
The
this.
thing is, and they showed this even on the Fear of the Walking Dead when it started, the government's going to clamp down on information as soon as they can.
They can't.
That really comes down to,
That can't actually
you say
happen.
they would, on the other hand, you don't know how somebody's going to react with, oh, the dead are getting up and eating people. Everybody from the top of the government down to the homeless people are going to freak out about that.
Yeah.
You know,
But they can cut the internet
Fear-
in the United States off.
Fear
like
of the
that
Walking
if they want
Dead was all about not showing you anything you wanted to see.
Yeah.
So the government was going to be hiding stuff because nobody was going to see it coming. And the trick is, if it busts out on live TV before they shut everything down, well, there ain't no covering that up.
But the trick is, you still gonna have that. Once it goes panic, you might find folks that it's still trying to hang on to basic decency. But I'm telling you, in that kind of shit, people that go Lord of the Flies first survive. And that kind of, well, can I join you? What can you do for me? Am I gonna throw my mother out to save you?
Well, see, now you're acting like, when prepping, you're like, all right, we've prepped it for 7 people for X amount of time. Oh no, an 8th person showed up. There's no way we can possibly get an 8th person.
The Doomsday Preppers literally set it up. If they built that shit in their backyard, they built that for their family, their friends. They ain't going, well, I'm going to let some jackass from Alabama and his friends and family show up at my spot. Because what you going to do? If you go, you going to leave your brother? You going to leave your mom and daddy? You going to leave your sister? You gonna leave us? You just gonna go, fuck it. They let me in. Fuck the rest of y'all.
If y'all still in Alabama and I'm already 3 states out, yeah, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you, headed west because this shit's coming from the east.
The trick is, though,
I'll try to get y'all information.
it makes less sense to do that than to hell go somewhere where you've already got backup.
Yeah.
I'd be trying to get y'all. I'd be getting my family. Except for some people.
Your family, not fake family, got it.
I'd be trying. That would be my group, and that would be the thing. Look, we're gonna have to knuckle the fuck up. It'd be, we're trying to fortify fucking Walmart. We'll try to do something. Hell, if it's shit, 12 of us, 12 people can come in and wreck a little shop, even if we have to take something.
Dollar Generals.
Usually only 2 ways in.
Usually only 2 ways in. You only have that one little glass area in the front that you have to fortify up with, like the drink coolers and stuff. For a relatively small group, still plenty of food for the short term. The trick is, long term, you can't just fortify and stay fortified up. You're going to have to.
Yeah, you're going to.
In your scenario, you fortify as long as you can. You start noticing that the runners are slowing down as they get older, and then you can start figuring out. And that's when you start plotting, okay, can I get out to the country, fortify somebody's farm, and actually make a go of it long term?
Yeah. One of the things I was reading online when Todd mentioned that we were going to do this, get a gun. Yeah, get a gun. Great. But what about those close-up situations where, like, you're in amongst but you can't shoot because I might shoot my buddy, I might shoot my wife,
You get the big hunting knives, combat knives kind of thing.
You get knives, you get clubs. One guy was like, I've got this end table right here. It comes apart with a Allen wrench or a crescent wrench or whatever. These legs make good little bashing tools. This top, get me a handle off one of my windows, screw it on there, and take a drill, a couple screws, and take a belt where I can stick my arm through it. I've got a shield. Now I can block, stab, because you know what? The Spartans and the Romans and all those folks, they waged war like that.
Yeah, my big thing was, hell, I can keep a machete.
I know,
A hammer.
I'll go ahead and back up that. I was saying if it's a wave, yeah, I'm giving information, I'm leaving.
Because you're trying to say, you stay ahead.
If it is, you step out and there's shit has just gone splat. Yeah, I'm grouping up with you guys. Because that's the smart plan.
Yeah.
But if you got
When you the trick is, we're talking about short or close range weapons. Go to Walmart. Hatchets.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you
We
can't
sell
get
hatchets
out,
at the Kroger I work at. I mean, we got a box full of them. Everybody in this room could have 2 or 3 just on what we have on the shelf.
yeah, but
And
what I'm
bats.
saying is,
Bats are
like if you can't get it happens. You can't get out of the house. What have you got in your house that you've got steak knives? If you've got a toolbox, surely you've got a hammer. You've got long screwdrivers. You've got handheld weapons. If you don't know what gun, you've got weapons you can use to defend yourself. If you've got a broom,
They're not the best weapons.
yeah, not the best weapon. If you've got a broom, you can sharpen it and make a spear.
Trick is, hell, you don't hardly have phone books anymore. Phone books make you some decent armor. That's what they use in prison. You got phone book duct tape. You got something where if something's trying to bite you, you can hold it off while you kill something.
Yeah.
You can definitely do it with your forearms at least
Yeah.
and do that. Yeah.
Well, you can take
Like the
several
dog
pair of socks
trainer
and put them
shoes.
on your arm. You know, like
Yeah, just socks I ain't trusting.
Yeah.
A phone book, you know,
Yeah,
that's
phone
like
book,
dog.
you ain't fighting.
what I'm
through that
saying is,
shit.
like you put on 2 or 3 layers of socks on your arm and then put a denim coat on. Yeah, still gonna feel a 600-pound bike. That's about how much pressure a human bike is. But it's not gonna get through all those layers instantly. You give you time to, and do the same thing on your legs.
Well, it's like he mentioned, if you hit like a sports supply place or a Gander Mountain or
Yeah,
some place
you
that
get the
like
Snake bite.
snake bite boots and stuff.
because that used to be our thing, man. It'd be hard as hell to be going around in a damn dive suit, but if a shark can't get through it, I'm pretty sure a fucking human could.
Yeah.
Me and the chainmails.
I meant like a diving, just
Like
rubber.
some of the
And
anti-shark
sharks
suits.
do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, shark suit.
Though even just the rubber ones, a person has
Yeah.
to get through.
You'd be hard as
Big
hell.
coverage glove, the
Yeah.
basic little chainmail gloves. You lose your dexterity, but you can pull a trigger, you can swing a machete.
And the thing is, the guns are really for the people. Because the trick is, if you have the Walking Dead type,
They're attracted to noise.
they like noise. So you want something melee, like I said, the guns for the folks that you gonna have to shoot, because you gonna have to shoot some folks.
Yeah.
If you believe that, you gotta go.
So I guess our overall strategy for this scenario is ford up early, and then start looking for places you can settle down permanently
Yeah.
once they slow down enough that you can actually get out and make a go of it.
Now, out here, more where I live, I would more go towards trying to board up in a school, just because that's not the one. People don't go, there's a school. People don't immediately go, there's tons of food in a school. And my other thing is, school has a football field. That's a bunch of grass with very little weeds. That weeds aren't going to come up to because there's a track around it, and there's usually, it's usually fences in between you and that. That is now a field that you can grow stuff in that people can't see from a distance because there's stadium seating in the way. Congratulations, you now have a private farm that people have to think maybe someone snuck in there, and then go to it first. And it's also already gated. It's already got
Now those kind of fences aren't super sturdy as far as like holding out tons of the dead,
right.
but it would slow them down enough. You'd have to have a plan for distracting them, for leading them off somewhere, for getting out of there.
But as far as short term, there's something that stagger steps. Then if you're already there and they're chasing, there's something that stagger steps in. Oh, there's another thing that stagger steps in. It gives you time to board up the main building.
Create a choke point.
And some schools have a big chunk of the campus
Yeah.
fenced off. So,
The big thing is it's also
and it's not necessarily where everybody's immediately going to
Right.
run. Where lots of people would run to a Walmart.
I feel like a lot of people go for general stores,
Mhm.
but schools which have surplus food sitting there.
And unlike power,
Especially-
water might last a little while depending on how many survivors you have.
You could be real bold to go to the hospital where you have a generator and shit. You got a board,
Hey,
old people.
yeah, in a zombie apocalypse where everyone's dying due to unknown medical reasons,
I gotta go to the doctor.
I ain't touching a hospital
Yeah.
for a long time.
Truthfully, in that setup, power is a secondary worry. You don't worry about power until you do that to that second stage where you're
Yeah,
not set up permanently.
You don't worry about power till you're done worrying about the weird monster trying to kill you.
Yeah. The only people in that situation that are going to worry about power are like diabetics that have to have insulin refrigerated, because that's good. That book I read, the guy's daughter, she was diabetic, and they had salvaged some ice, stuck it in the cooler, put the insulin in the bottom to keep it cold, and they kept using it past its expiration date, and the girl was getting sick, and then she died because she didn't have insulin. And you're going to have pacemakers. My dad's got a pacemaker. Yeah, at some point that battery goes out. You can't just sit and do, surgery because, all those doctors that are at work when that zombie apocalypse happens, them motherfuckers bit.
You'd have a real shortage of doctors.
But
Oh.
you guys are also jumping, even in today's stuff, even with knowledge, Yeah, the moment one gets up, all the dogs are going, nope, nope, nope. You know, we'll come in, but the moment you have a weird bite or some shit, you know, we're gonna.
It all depends on how quickly.
They're human before they're doctors. They're gonna start going, no, there's a zombie apocalypse happening. There are now new precautions we're taking.
And
It will be a slower push than what you see in movies by a long shot.
that is one thing that would help if that were to happen here, happen in our world.
Is the fact that we have.
We've imagined it.
Imagine.
Therefore,
Yeah.
seeing it happen.
I have not read the series, but a buddy of mine was a big fan of it, was telling me about it, at least he's a big fan of the first few books, where you had a zombie apocalypse coming. I think you also had a bunch of werewolves. It was weird. The trick was pop culture's fascination with zombies was literally a defense mechanism, so that as soon as they popped up, basically everybody on the planet knew how to deal with them.
Oh,
Now you're only completely fucked in that if you end up with the Return of the Living Dead type.
Yeah,
Well, then that's an alien.
if you wind up with the ones that you can't kill, period, yeah, you're just toast.
You go live on an oil rig. Congrats, you're there now.
I mean, you couldn't even flamethrower them guys because the fumes would kill you.
yep, and then you would rise as one of them.
Well, that was the trick with hell. That you ever went down. Hell, you were dead. And you still just.
It just took you a little while to realize.
You mean the fucking movie lied?
I just like the old guy when he realizes he's dead.
Well, that's the thing. He never stopped crying.
Before the hunger sets in, they're like Mortician's place, and he
He
fires up the
he
cremation thing,
cremates himself.
sits down in the tray, and the last you see him is he's inching into the fire while he's still crying.
That was the thing. He never stopped crying from the time he realized he was dead. It was just.
They were dead. Where the other one made the full turn, and the hunger had kicked in, or the pain in their case.
Yeah. The brain. Send more cops.
Yeah.
Them kind you fuck, cause hell, they need to lose their intelligence.
Yeah.
You just done. That's why I didn't put that in there, cause that's literally
That's just
fuck it.
How
That's
long?
eat a bullet time.
Yeah.
That's how long do you get to live before this shit takes you?
Yeah. That's like I said, that was them for them sons of bitches. That was just literally time to eat a bullet. The world was fucked.
Well, several years ago, MythBusters, the TV show, they did a like what if scenario about zombies, vampires, this, that, and the other. And I can't remember which one of it. The dude, what's his name? The one with the walrus.
I know who you're talking about, but
He was talking about a lot of the stuff they filmed for those 2 or 3 episodes they didn't make, hit the cutting room floor, didn't make this thing. I can't remember if this made it into the show or not, but he said they talked to some CDC doctors and a World Health Organization doctor about, what if a zombie apocalypse happened. And he said one of them was like, depends on where you're at when it happens. And they said, from these movies, we're going to go with this scenario because this, mathematically, we've figured this out. He said, in a city like New York, you're looking at 98% mortality in a day to 2 days.
Yep.
Okay. He said Chicago, LA, same thing. He said if you live in a rural area, your survivability jumps up in 75 to 80% because you see it's coming. It gives you that leeway time. He said the exception is, say someone gets bit and they don't realize they're infected, they get on a plane, they infect the plane. Well, the pilot's up there, locked safely in the cabin, he doesn't hear any word from the flight attendants that anything wrong. He lands. The ground crew comes up, opens the door, when they push the thing up,
shitload of zombies.
they come pouring out. The second it hits an airport or somebody on a plane, he said that's when it goes nationwide, that's when it goes worldwide. Unless they know it's infected up in the air, it can shoot down over the ocean or, obliterate it into, a million pieces. Yeah, it's there. Then you're looking at like a 10% survivability rate planet-wide. And he said that's what makes, what they've done, they've taken one of the plague factors that they had, And they still
Well, they just looked at how pandemics
Yeah,
spread.
how
that's how
they
they
spread. And he said, if you're in a big city, your survivability rate is like 1% at the best. And that's being nice. And he said, the best bet is, like the southern states where, people have more guns, it's more wide open, flat land. Out west,
So I say Midwest is
I mean,
as far as not as many other things to have to deal with.
he said, now, the
We don't
roaming
get infrastructure.
hordes of them that you see later on in these things, that's when you're gonna have, okay, that would be when it'd be handy to have a tank. But even a tank requires fuel. You damage the tracks so much, grinding over stuff, tracks have to be changed, you get into these situations where do you go from? He's now, the perfect scenario would be you're on the opposite side of the Grand Canyon and you have a way to lure them all in the Grand Canyon, they drop and, you flame them down in there, but,
Z Nation did
yeah.
So, this one was a cheery 50th episode. I think we'll end there because that was just depressing as shit. Oh yeah, all hell breaks loose. You got 1% chance of breathing.
So,
Congratulations.
go to that loved one, that friend, tell them you like them, tell them you love them, pray you never have to spike them in the head.
But tell them, if you act the least bit funny, I hit you in the head with an axe. I'm just saying.
Hammer.
it. Any of
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you get through the break. Love you.
I've already told my wife, in the event of zombie apocalypse, we have to go somewhere. My father's going to be on the hood of the vehicle, swinging a bat, because I know his dumbass would get us killed, and we're not going anywhere near her grandfather because the man is 95. He gets lost.
He's
in his
had a
own-
good life.
Yeah, he gets lost in his own house. I love you, Papa. But no. He can't hear, so he shouts at like proportional levels, and yeah, he would be the first one to get,
You gonna get us all killed. Sorry. So, this group was a hell of a lot less psychotic than some of them that I've both been in and heard. Of course, Tony's not here, the hitman, so I wasn't offering his ears up to anybody. Which was... He's got two. I only wanted one for Jessica Lucas. And that was only if she asked. God. Like I'm some kind of crazy person or something. Shit. So anyway, that's been our 50th episode of Man We're Too Old for This. Please like, share, subscribe. Feel free to comment on how you would survive a zombie apocalypse or any of the apocalypses that we've described. Like, share.
comment and tell us what you want us to talk about.
As if we
Please, we need the ideas.
Yeah, like you would come.
What
up
for
with
a
something
house of
great.
ideas?
No, that's Marvel.
It used to be Marvel.
It used to be. Yeah. But anyway, joining me as always was
CDL 113.
The token not going Lord of the Flies, Tarky.
And the experienced Sunbelt.
and I've been Lord Sagittarius Prime, and I'm probably going to have to kill Tarkin. We'll catch you guys later.
Peace.